Welcome to Portfolio Builders Club. We're going to take a look at futures here and some different commodities, maybe in Bitcoin. So we'll start with gold. So looking at gold right here, you see quite a bit of an uptrend, very strong. It's been strong for over a year. As you look at international policy around gold, you'll see that more countries are probably interested in purchasing gold and having that as a reserve. So we've seen just complete uptrend going for gold all this past year, and the lowest it's really gotten is down to the 100-day moving average, which if it stays above this 25-day moving average, it really is a strong uptrend. It did pull back to the 100-day moving average, didn't go much further than that, and then continued on. So we would expect more bullish movement for this. We have hit a milestone of 3,000 here, but we would expect just more bullish movement on continued into the future here. So the next pullback either to the 25-day moving average, which is this green and red line here, or to this 100-day moving average, which is the yellow line. We changed the color there to yellow to distinguish it from the 200-day moving average. But if it gets back to the 100-day moving average, that would enter a value opportunity as well. So that's gold. Let's take a look at oil. So the price of oil is down. As you see, ever since 2023, this has been a zone where the price has turned around and pushed back up, but we are seeing more of a downtrend occurring. So if we were to we can go from here on down, you can see that we've really sort of stayed around this line here. And if we were not to use this point here, let's just move this to this point here, and then we use those first two or so points there. Yeah, you'll see that it generally is staying below this line here, and it's not going below these two pivot zones down here, this pivot zone. So right now we say that price is at a value price, and if it's going to come up and maybe tap this line again, we'd have to see if it would come up and break this line and then continue back up. But for a couple of years here, it's been holding at this particular price point, and this is probably around $65, $64 to $65 that it's holding. So right now, oil prices are low, and we'll have to continue to monitor this to see if we get a break above this line and maybe above the 25-day moving average as well. Of course, we are underwater as far as the price, from these earlier moves, and we are moving in a downward overall trend, but within that trend there are some fluctuations in price that are occurring. So we'll have to monitor that to see if it comes back up, and then of course we maybe think it might go to the downside, but a lot of things can influence the price of oil. All right, let's go to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin futures, let's see here. So we've had this consolidation has happened as it pulled back to the 200-day moving average, and let's go ahead and extend this line here, and we see that it's somewhat respecting this line here for support, and it just hit the 200-day moving average. So if we can bump up above 90,000, then we can maybe see some movement to the upside. But right now, it is on the downtrend. If we were to draw a trend line, roughly, we'll just put it there, you'll see that prices stand within that. So if we can get some movement to the upside, we maybe see some continuation, but otherwise we are still on this downtrend here, and we're hoping for a 200-day moving average support, but we'll have to monitor that. The main things we're looking for is for price to get above the 25-day moving average and above this kind of trend line that we're drawing here. So let's just take a look at the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq has taken a pretty healthy pullback here. So we were watching it sort of stair step down into the 200-day moving average, and we drew this counter trend line to see if it would break that counter trend line. It did not break that counter trend line. So if we were to extend that down, this is where you see a break in that counter trend line the last few days here. So that's showing some support, but again, we're still below the 200-day moving average, and we have the 25-day moving average moving in on us pretty swiftly as well. So if we're going to see a recovery, we have to get above this 200-day moving average and above the 25-day moving average to start some semblance of an uptrend. Right now, we are underwater, and we're looking at a potential cross of the 25-day and the 200-day moving average here. Hopefully, it can turn around and move up. But for now, we've sort of hit a max up here around 23,000, 22,500, I would say. But we haven't really stayed below the 200-day moving average very long in the past as far as this uptrend. So this is the deepest we've gone into that. And again, we did break at least this trend. So the possibility would be to come down here, maybe establish a double bottom, then move back up. But if that can't happen, we will just watch this going forward and see what happens when it goes forward. So otherwise, we'll just watch it. All right, let's look at the Dow. Dow Jones, very similar situation here. Some of our counter trend lines are still intact. At least this one at the top here, that we haven't broken that, and we haven't gotten really established above the 25-day moving average. So of course, this move is showing some recovery because we got really close to the 200-day moving average, but we're not above the 25-day moving average at all. So the potential here would be another pull back. If we don't get some sort of news or something to sort of help the price. Otherwise, we'd have to watch and see if price can pull back, make a double bottom, come back up, and then break through all these moving averages again. We need some momentum to be able to do that. Otherwise, we just continue to the downside. Right now, based on this counter trend line and how long it is and where we are somewhat in undecided territory, but we have been negative for a few months, well, at least a month, I guess. So, all right, so that's that. Let's go to ES, S&P 500, same thing. If you noticed in the past, we really didn't spend too much time below the 200-day moving average. This here back in 2023 is maybe the longest in a long time that we've been below the 200-day moving average. So this is a major pullback, and we only back here did we get below the 25-day moving average was below the 100-day moving average. Here we are below that as well. So we'll have to monitor this as well to see what happens. We had these breakouts that failed to go any higher than this level at about 61, 66. But now we would draw a counter trend line here. Of course, this one has already been broken though. And that at least signifies that we got some support here. So now that we've broken that, we're still not fully above the 200-day moving average, but we might expect like some sort of pullback, retesting this bottom, and then pushing off. If it retests the bottom and breaks through, then it's just going to go down. But we need some sort of news, some sort of catalyst to get some more momentum back into the markets. All right, so that's pretty much it for the futures that we're going to review today.